Hello everybody, welcome back to more Ace Attorney. I considered something. Well, I could go back to Persona 3, but I don't want to leave it off on a failure. I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. I don't want to wait to solve this trial, or at least get past the first day of trial. This trial was kicking my ass yesterday, but no longer will I allow that to happen. Today, we are walking into that courtroom, and much like the title of this case, we are rising from the ashes, and we are finishing at least this part of this thing. And I'm gonna have to redo all this dialogue because I don't want to just skip through it. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me. No matter what the outcome, I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? The defense attorney should never believe their client. Huh? The defendant is called to the trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there's one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not a defense attorney. I mean, you're also alive. That's probably something to take into consideration. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's gonna bail me out this time. Save slots, that's what's bailing us out this time. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. I'm going into this courtroom angry. Me. Not Nick, it's me. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of today's proceedings, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is not in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Star, to the stand. The cough-up queen? Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh ho, caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. And for you, I have a fiesta bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? Ah, and you, sir. Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? This is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Me? The name is Angel Star. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I have not finished eating. Hurry it up. Very well. Mr. Edgeworth, as you know, we usually call on police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. Huh? What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Star was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. But what? Miss Starr was a detective? Aha! I know who you are. Cough up? Cough up Queen Angel Star, Your Honor. Long time no see. Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr. Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot of the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. Block A block for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for the visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor's spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. Parking lot floor plans added to the court record. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems the poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Starr. Wait, are they talking about me? Yeah, that is interesting. The judge here always sucks. Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Bring a lunchbox to your boyfriend? How touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of her testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed in Detective Goodman. Oh, zing! Bazinga, or whatever. I saw that on the TV. So, how does it feel being so utterly crushed? I am still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Here we go. Last time we were a bit too aggressive. We didn't press enough. Somehow I knew a day like this would come. How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crimes. Yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted, given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim. Killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I'm a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr. I was on my way to deliver lunch to my boyfriend. This boyfriend, he's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard. That boyfriend? You have several? Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants. I'll stick with the lunches, thanks. Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot in A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunch boxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective intuition at work. You sensed something? So you're saying you had a premonition of murder? Give me a second, I gotta fix something. Alright, apologies on that. Getting back to it. You said something? You had premonition murder? It felt like, how would you say? Oh yes, it was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds. I have no idea what that means. Speaking of a detective's intuition, wasn't the victim, Mr. Bruce Goodman, also a detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese. A young cheese? A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn. Then I must be hard, yellowed, and sharp as a tack. Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match. In any case, that was there in the lot. I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. Through the garage car. By garage car, you mean Mr. Edgeworth's car? Yes. Mr. Edgeworth's? Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Edgeworth's, wasn't it? Indeed, it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. That was inspiring. I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts were honed. A photograph? You took this? The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took a snap, and I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Crime photo added to the court record. Uh-oh, this is unmistakably Lana Skye. So, what was the defendant doing at the time? The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying. Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife, after all. Yes, that's about right. Prosecutors are by nature well versed in the location of man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean, a person. Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor. So the defense was holding a knife. What then? Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point. Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late. Hello. How you doing, Sumi? Too late. Yes, the next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness, shall we? Oh, nice. How was it? How was the picnic? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that. So now, we point out the fact that the knife was in her right hand, right? Then why is it not in the photograph? And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Skye stab the victim with a knife? Oh, that's nice. Did you have anything? Did you pack anything in particular for this picnic? Any favorite foods come to mind? As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. But, isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding the knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever. Oh, nice. What's your favorite food, if you don't mind me asking? Yet it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. With a C ends in Y is warm. Well, I kid you not, my mind went from koi, which is not spelled like that, or at least it's not spelled like that, the food. Or the fish isn't spelled like that, and then candy. It could be candy. I'm solving a mystery within a mystery. Oh, curry. Oh, I love curry. That's awesome. I don't know why curry was in my brain. I was like, oh man, what food is it? I'm not playing this up, by the way. I genuinely was like trying to figure it out. But I love curry too. Curry's good. It was taken the moment after the stabbing. And how can you tell that? Blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? But it's all black and white, but it's a black and white photograph. Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but it could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you. Mr. Wright, are you just gonna sit there and take that kind of abuse? You got a better idea? Objection. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it. If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. Oh, this just occurred to me. I didn't ask. What type of curry did you make? Like, what was in the curry? I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating, like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. But premeditated? Oh, I skipped too fast on that. Look at the chief prosecutor's hands on this photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. What? These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. The murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. What if she's just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were not rubber gloves. Or they were rubber gloves, the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to this crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Impressive. I'm sure they took you off the I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Starr. This is bad. She's got them thinking it was all planned. If she can prove that claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show this wasn't premeditated. It's only a flesh wound. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Want to go to the end. And then prove it was the knife. It was found in the car. Why would she use something randomly found in the car? Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell boxed lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there. The defendant and the chief is the prosecutor, is right. Well, mate, our prosecutors bad people. Sorry for that accent. The defense has requested. The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon? Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Wah. Order? Order. Great, now the tide is turning in our favor. Oh, nice. This sounds like a very lovely picnic, Sumi. I'm glad you had a good time. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating this. Is this humble pie? What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care about that is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. Honestly, that could just be the tagline on so many of these cases. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove, nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now? But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing? I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. Oh, Detective Goodman, not Gumshoe. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge that knife in again and again. Aha, and then what we call her out on is the fact that it's only stabbed once. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound like a lot of premeditation. I know, I would be so upset if they actually managed to, like, have Gumshoe die. I would be so upset. And if he does die in a future case, please do not tell me. I don't want to know that. Yeah, I love this, pal. Just don't tell Nintendo about it. I really hope it doesn't get taken down by lawsuit. It's actually a little bit closer to Ark than it is actual Pokemon, but people aren't really paying attention to that. So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defendant may now cross-examine the witness. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna skip all the way here. Again and again. Only one knife wound. You say she stabbed him again and again. But you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this. But take a look. The autopsy report states that the death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha, you're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk. He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness, you got the crime scene set right. Oh, thanks. You know what? I appreciate that, but I really hope that Gumshoe is okay. I will actually be not okay if he's not okay. That's fair. I always believed that no one could mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted the knife, I thought I saw blood on her breast. Splattered blood from a victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Then tell us what you saw, what you thought was blood. Testify. Her red muffler. How ghastly the scene was. Well, that's very interesting. That's the wrong picture. That's very interesting, because she's not wearing the muffler in this either. Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be. Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations, perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Oh yeah, I haven't gotten far enough to really know Akihiko, but yeah, I could see him being like, yeah man, I really like Edgeworth. He's a really cool dude. Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection then? Chocolate liver? But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red, really. Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. I have. Not only have I seen that meme, I'm pretty sure I've used that meme. I've sent that meme before. That is such a good meme. It's such a raw, freaking hard line that goes so... It's a line that goes so hard, and I love it so. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Oh, it's not? Did someone make it up? After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind the partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Oh, I'd have to look closely. Still though, it's a great line. Whoever came up with it should be praised. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Starr, resistance is futile. And here's the part that I got stumped on yesterday. You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Starr. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Go ahead. Tell me the line. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr. Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you will. Okay, cool. So now we're just going to press her on a bunch of stuff. Oh, I think we actually came across that line. I assure you it's very based. That is a meme that needs to happen. So, where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall. I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. Oh, okay. Well then, I'm looking forward to seeing it then, because I'm probably going to play through Apollo Justice at some point. That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And what did you do then? Quickly caught her. Yeah, arrested on the spot. You say quickly? Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details. Press her. I'd like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. It's fine. Oh no, I'm spoiled. Yeah, exactly. It's like the main character of Ace Attorney is in an Ace Attorney game. Like, I'm not really, like, that shocked. And I'm probably going to forget anyway in between now and then, so it's not much of a deal. I'd like to see this on floor plans just to be safe. The lunch land car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Well, I figured, yeah, it's oh my god, brain is not braining. I mean, his name's on the title, but I was more saying, like, the main character of the series, like the guy who most people associate with. Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there's a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing. The cough of Queen Lunch Lady Athlete, indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. So how did Miss Sky not get away? Ah, yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in this testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just the one word. So what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but someone else? Oh yeah. Well, it's also great because earlier in this case, he has a figurine. Granted, it was sent by Oldbag, but he has, like, a Steel Samurai figurine in his office. Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? She can't mean... By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory. It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court does not see, Miss Starr. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On that wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently, it was out of order. So she used her cell phone? I think initially it was Maya and Nick, but as, like, Edgeworth and Maya got closer, they would eventually, like, watch it together, and that's a really cute headcanon. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Like, I think after the events of the first game, and, like, after Maya eventually comes back, like, they're like, really chill, and like, oh yeah, sure, we can watch it, but I'm not enjoying it that much. I'm just here for the vibes. And meanwhile, he's enjoying it and getting really into it. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Yeah, like the bro nod, like, yes, absolutely. I saw it all. How she tried the phone on the wall, but had to use the cell instead. Hold it. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? Aha! I was going to ask the same thing. I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled out her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. Then when I boldly grabbed her arm, Chief Prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this? Hmm? What is it, Mr. Wright? Oh, I'm looking forward to it. We're very close. The Chief Prosecutor made an escape, but Angel, this is futile. Like, ironically best or genuinely best? She made to escape? Could you be more specific? She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a pâté de foie gras. Huh? She even kicked over an oil drum at me. An oil drum? Oh, I see. Well then, I'm really looking for... We are so close to getting to Ace Attorney 2. We just gotta get through this. Which I'm enjoying. I don't think this is a bad case. There was an oil drum lying on its side at the scene of the crime. But it's strange. Hmm? What's that? If she wanted to escape, why didn't she run the other way? The parking lot entrance. That's it, right. It doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind the partition to the oil drums. Excellent. More mysteries. I wish we could solve a few before finding more, though. So Miss Sky tried to run. I'm sorry my sister is so suspicious, Mr. Wright. Not as sorry as I am. But you didn't do it. You have to believe me. Okay, so I think because she saw it all, we have to mention the floor plan. Oh boy. I think it's floor plan. Okay, yes, it's floor plan. Good. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky. The vase part. I can't wait for the vase part. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction in your testimony. How did you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me and I'll make you cough it all up. Ahem. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the backside of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. Oh, we got the music. Wah. Order. What is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies. Grr. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told to the court. Here's where the counter attack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about where she saw it. This guy tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. Yeah, but hopefully the other songs are equally a bop. What is significant about that fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it. Pointless to lie. I see. But say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. Well, I'm very excited to see how much better they are. Although, I will say this song is definitely, like, iconic. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I've ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? All the testimonies we've heard up now points to one direction. The place from where Miss Starr witnessed the crime was here. Well, the security room, because she's going to visit her boyfriend. This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room? Indeed, the security guard room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor, so you can easily see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are so many other places she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime is in the back of the partition is here. I remember your testimony. You said you brought a lunch for your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr, how many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has gotten the better of Angel Starr. Order, witness. What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure that justice prevails. The guilty? Is she talking about Miss Skye? Mr. Wright? Doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It would be the defendant who stabbed the victim. The truth still stands, but she's not in the security guard. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without good reason. So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Huh? Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from that security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must be a vital difference. But what? What would change? Well, the angle view of the crime. Because she wouldn't be able to see the stabbing. Why, the angle from which she saw the crime occur would change. The angle? What do you mean? Well, the security guard station was on the second floor. I know, right? It's like perjury. You know, that thing that no one has been charged with ever in this entire series, like this entire game. This is the entire first game. There are at least like 9 different people in like the first trial who have perjury written all over their faces. So I don't know how to tell you this, Nick, or the judge for that matter. The security guard station is on the second floor, and she would have sort of a more 3D view of the crime. And this is important. Why? Really? Come on. Technically speaking, it would be a different view of the crime. Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Because she wouldn't be able to see... Okay, whatever. But she was... Distance to the crime. It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright. But one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not the question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Skye? Well, witness? You. Yes. You ordered the squid wheels, right? The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing the PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Boysenberry for the boyfriend. Boysenberries? What? He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. Running, 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 running. That's why I had to go through the visitors' parking in B block. That's quite a detour. It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. 5 minutes? But the phone is not 5 minutes. This changes things considerably. But it was that woman over there who, in the defendant's chair, who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork. You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention. Would you like another caviar lunch? Absolutely. Oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do you have any evidence to stop this? Raise an objection, I'm sure we do. 5 minutes between the witness of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You could make pasta in that amount of time. If you like it al dente. I've got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? I know, right? This case is like, food. Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey, don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time was different. Miss Skye dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Wait, really? Well, then it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. Oh, like, basically, like, you can summon people now? The witness has a grudge against the defendant, and a blank in a testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go? Unfortunately... Oh, okay. Oh, because he's stealing shit. Yeah. I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. Ah. Oh, you meant me. Me, the player, not me, Nick. I've always been like, food. I relate to having multiple stomachs on a personal level. We did it. We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright. That was too close. You're telling me. I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Yay, day one. Hold it, what? Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's the ones you tried to foist off on me. I prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. What is that? Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr. Ah. This is your jumbo lunchbox? Woohoo! A triple-decker. Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence. Like a Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. What's she gonna pull out of her lunchbox this time? Oh boy, here we go. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on the shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other, blood type, matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. The shoe proves it. It's flawless decisive evidence. Okay. But what? There was blood found on that shoe? Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. Okay. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. Ah, and you had blood tests performed? Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics. In any case, Your Honor, I don't accept this as evidence. What? You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, the shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. So, as you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen. You could at least study some evidence law, really. The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness. Anything to ensure the guilty are properly judged. Victim's shoe added to the court record. Very well, Mr. Wright. Well, that's really nice. Did you go to like a park or something? Where'd you go for the picnic? Ah, very nice. Well, very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. I haven't actually had a picnic before. Perhaps that's something I will plan in the future. Ashton? Hold it. Why did you lie about those 5 minutes? I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results. The results? How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very eyes. Compared to that, 5 minutes blank means nothing. Then why didn't you just tell the truth? Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book. This is when the suspect is admitting she did it. But false testimony is the most despicable of crime of all, Miss Starr. Let's just get this over with. And did I not bring this up? I guess I'm trying to figure out. Bring this up. And you found this shoe at the scene of the crime? I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive. So, like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with a shoe. I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. This shoe was my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen. I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag, really. In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now then, tell us what you did next. 2 types of blood were found. Victims. So, you brought it to the forensics department. If you're going to submit something as evidence to the court, you need approval. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensic expert. And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it. Well, that man was stabbed after all. And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman. As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. And the other blood was defendant's last guy. You can't say for sure that the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie? Oh. Well, honestly, I'd rather... You know, hot's better than cold, though, right? It's better to be like, oh man, I gotta bring some extra shade, rather than, oh man, it's cold. It's cold here. I don't like it. I want it to be warm. Huh? Well, speak up. Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Actually, we can differentiate blood between millions of types with all the blood tests out there. Oh yeah, I think that's a pretty good preference. Which means that we can more or less narrow any sample down to just one person. Or so I hear. That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten to DNA test results. But they said there was very little doubt it could be anyone's but Miss Lana Sky's. So the suspect's blood was found in the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. This shoe proves it. Flawless decisive evidence. Good night. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's enough hot water to make the whole vat a soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? There is a problem. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna figure it out. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there's one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you? Let's see what Mr. Wright has to say. What is the contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with the evidence. Okay. Oh, it's not on top. It's a step. Oh my god. Ooh, this is weird. I'm gonna assume it's the bottom here, because she stepped in it. Take that! I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of this shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of this shoe. It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood at the bottom of the shoe? There's no blood in the puddle, so I'm assuming it's a picture. The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered with blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why aren't any bloody footprints found at the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there was no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. That's true. That's very true. Order, order, order! Well, witness? What? Well, Keep going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction, but then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint. Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Think, Mr. Wright, think. Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There was one vital hint of the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr. I thought that was a strange thing for a normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that, I'm not sure if I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Witness, well, or was the oil drum empty? The oil drum, kicked over by the chief prosecutor, was brimming with water. Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright. Do you want to know the reason why she knocked it over? The real reason? Aha! You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. What? That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoe tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. That reminds me, Miss Sky's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she'd cut herself when she stabbed him? So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe. Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. But Mr. Wright, do something, please. What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well. But Angel Star is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water. This court finds the defendant Miss Sky. Hold it. Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you just say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution's side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence. But wait. Witness, don't tell me you had something else. This is a long day of trial. The time for deliberations has passed. Any further comments, and you will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare the cough up, Queen. Look at this. The photograph. The photograph? I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. I see no room for error in this evidence. Mr. Wright, wait. Look at the asphalt in that photo. Hey, it's clearly wet. Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia. Right, wet or not. Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end. This is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
Objection!
Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand out my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we get each piece of proper evidence consideration. So, Wright, are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? I'm going to look at this latest piece of evidence. Okay, I can't look at it yet. Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem, right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem with this photograph. We can't see his face. We can't see his face. Well, it's probably here, don't you think? Okay, never mind. Just to keep your eyes open. I believe he's trying to save enough. Open your eyes, Mr. Wright. Think scientifically. I suppose fair shake. Okay. Well, we did get penalized for that, so that's cool. Oh, wait. The sign of the shoe is face down in the water. Well, it's... Okay. Cool. So let's think here. Is it the knife? Oh, it's okay, probably here. Well, we're not getting penalized for this, so we might as well just click around. Wait, there's something in the... Is there something in here? The problem with the photograph... apparently it is the exhaust pipe. The problem in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. Wait just a moment, Mr. Ashworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph. A muffler is also a part of a car or a motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as a part of the exhaust system, a pipe. I see, and I see. What's that suspicious-looking claw sticking out of the car's muffler? So what if there is something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. What? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of loss in the muffler is related to the case. That is the word muffler was overheard. Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Ah, yes. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused with my earlier testimony. Muffler. Yeah. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, did she just faint? Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings. Suspend? I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any questions unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once, and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Oof, that was close. But we made it. At least for now. This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime, after all. He's still hungry? Alright. Just save. And honestly, I'm gonna be real. I'm tired as hell. I know this is a little bit shorter of a stream compared to yesterday, but I think I am going to call it here. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time in the next video. And as always, stay rockin'. Next time we're here, we're going to solve more mysteries. Or at least more of the same mystery. Yeah. Stay rockin'.